Hey everybody, this is Kit Holmes. It is Tuesday. That means it's Transformation Tuesday, and I'm not wearing a mask in my own home. I'm going to start that again. It looks like my computer's running a little slow. It is Transformation Tuesday. It is Tuesday, August the 3rd, 2021. This is Rev Kit Holmes, and I have this mask on not because I'm being cautious and safe with the latest Delta variant of COVID doing its thing. It's because I am back in my little office space working on the wall that I talked about last week. So if you were watching last week, the idea here was that I was going to take off layers and layers of wallpaper off this 102-year-old house in this room as I'm redoing it for my office space, and all was going fine and well until if you can see up in that corner there, it's actually been cleaned up a little bit, but some old plaster came down, and rather than deal with it last week, I had some other things that needed to be dealt with. I just waited. I took my time with it and got back on it today. Thus the dust and all manner of things. So what I want to talk about today in terms of Transformation Tuesday is what I was talking about last week, where we peel back to get to the core of things. And the metaphor here, of course, is we can, through our lives, put lots of protective things and cosmetic things to cover up some of what we think are our basic cracks. Maybe we think of them as our faults. Maybe we think of them as our not good enoughness. Today, though, is looking at those old wounds, those things that we were affected by in our childhood, and that carry us, influence everything throughout our lives. And we can tend to want to cover those up because we carry that belief. We were told in some way, shape, or form, or something happened in our formative years, or maybe somewhere in our teen years, that just shook us to our core in some kind of trauma. And what I found this week was, in the process of this, I wasn't angered when the plaster came down. It was a metaphor for some things going on in my life too, that I realized, okay, I can handle this. As I talked about last week, I have chosen to peel back the layers, and we can do that. I want to get to the heart of this. I don't want to keep putting a Band-Aid on a belief system, on a paradigm that I operate from. I want to get to the core of it and get to the good stuff, and then go back and shore up and do what I need to do going forward, so that I just don't keep putting plaster over something, rather than let's fix it. Let's get down to the bottom. Let's figure out what this is. This last week I was called to return to a book by Thich Nhat Hanh, a Buddhist monk, and the name of the book is just simply called Anger. And there's a wonderful, lots of things that in his own way, in his beautifully poetic way, can get to the heart of things pretty quickly. And I realized that was the thing, that getting to our heart can sometimes be terrifying. But I know with enough practice that we do that. We set aside the messy things, the 5 layers of wallpaper and the crumbling plaster and all of those, because we are always trying to get to that heart. And sometimes it is scary. And we think sometimes that hurt is going to destroy us. But the idea here is, when we do it in baby steps, and we do it consistently, and that's the part of this process that starts the transformation in us, is being willing to take the baby steps in a daily spiritual practice. Not just a passing glance, but a determination, a decision to get to the heart of the matter. I recommend that book highly because it will take you into that space. And the reflection is, if you see things going on in your life and everybody else is wrong, or everybody else is mean and upset and angry and all these other things, as that projecting out, and people projecting at us, we can get in the practice and the habit of recognizing there's a lot of hurt being covered up. So how do we get to it? How do we get to pulling back the layers? How do we get to that core without letting it destroy us? Gratitude and forgiveness. The two most powerful practices that we have. The two simplest practices we have. And sometimes the most challenging practices we have. So I invite you this week, look that book up. It's not that big. And Thich Nhat Hanh, lots and lots and lots of books he's had over the years. All of them well worth the read. But the book is called Anger. And it took me right back to my core, right back into my heart, which is where I recognized I needed to be, so that I could be present and be a heart space in the world for someone else to land when they thought their pain was going to destroy them. That's your practice for this week. All right, I love you all, and maybe we'll have some progress on this wall behind me next week. Maybe there will actually be some paint on it. All right, I love you dearly. Have a wonderful week. See you later.